What's going on, good people? It is Israel, right?
Terrence Alexander with Real Business Talk TV.
And today we have a super special guest, one of my guys from 5 years now, but just here to give us the real business of his business is Riyahd Jones, AKA Cool Jones in the building.
And I've been looking at him on Instagram, man. He got some shoes that look like Yeezys on steroids, so I can't wait to grab me a pair. I want to grab my girl a pair, my kids a pair. You should grab a pair too.
Get locked in. And I'm actually on my third pair personally, so the lemon pepper holy steppers, y'all make sure y'all go grab y'all some. Let's go.
Hey, back in that bag again. Don't bring me around your friends. You know that I'm bagging them. Request me on Facebook. No, I ain't adding them.
All right, brother. How did you get started in the shoe business? Matter of fact, let's take a step back. How did you get started in business?
Yeah, good question. So my background is football. So Izzy knows I played football my whole entire life. I played college football at the University of Tennessee, also at Georgia Southern. And then when I finished, I got a shot to play professionally, or at least try to play professionally with the Detroit Lions, and I got cut. And when I got cut, I'm on this flight back to Georgia, and I'm asking myself, what can I do now? Everybody that I know is a rapper, a trapper, an athlete, and this athlete door looks like it's closing. So I don't want to go down the route of selling drugs, so let me try this whole entrepreneur thing out. And I definitely couldn't rap.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
Okay, so this before it became really popular, to be honest.
Yeah, this was way before the trend of entrepreneurship. And so this is 2016. I'm sleeping on a twin-size bed at my parents' house. I'm broke as a joke. I can't afford free water. I'm like, man, I got to do something. And I got introduced to the concept of network marketing, making money from home-based businesses. And that was my first wave of entrepreneurship, first run at it. Did that for 5 years, did really, really well. And then it came to a point where it was time to transition and do something different.
How was that feel, like network marketing? Explain to the people, what is network marketing?
Yeah, so good question. Network marketing is, I think it's a really solid business model for people to start at, especially somebody that's never had any work in the entrepreneurship field, or me, I had never had a job before. So this was my first time doing something that was structured in terms of income. And so network marketing is a model where people can literally market somebody else's products or services through their own network and earn high commissions by building an organization. So I did that for 5 years. I built a solid team, over 4,000 people across the world. I had people in different countries.
Give it up for that. That's dope, man. That's dope.
I want to take it a little back though. I want to hear some stuff that happened when you was trying out for the Detroit Lions, because I know a lot of young people out there, they want to be
professional athletes, and
yeah, man. So the journey of an athlete, man, is the things that you learn in sports. Doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball. I think it's all relative, but the concepts, the mindset, the mentality, the things that are cultivated while you're playing, that's the most important part that somebody can get from playing the game, because that transcends the game itself, the mentality, the habits that you have to develop. And so for me, I tell people all the time, as a kid, my dream wasn't to play professionally, which may sound like a shocker to most people. My dream was to play in the SEC.
Wow.
If I could get to the SEC, then my dream was fulfilled, because that to me was the stepping stone to go to the NFL. So if I can get to the SEC,
then I
was that closer. Yeah. So the dream growing up was just to get to a Georgia, Alabama, or Kentucky or something like that. And so when I got a shot to play with the Tennessee Volunteers, I'm like, yeah, this is lit. And so what happened though, I ended up getting injured. Had another situation happen, and that kind of had a rocky road of playing college football in a sense. And so when I get to the Detroit Lions, man, I ended up getting cut my first day.
Dang.
I got cut my first day before practice. And
before practice?
Before practice.
You got fired.
I got fired on my day off, bro.
So how was the call? Tell me about the business side of it.
Yeah, man. It's
when they call you to try for a pro team. I never had that opportunity, so I want to. When they call you, what do they say?
It's now the call.
You go through an agent, or
yeah. So I had an agent, and my agent, he had his roommate in college was actually somebody that worked with the Detroit Lions, and so it was a in-way he had
a relationship.
So you would say relationships are way more
relationships in any field, sports, entertainment, business. Relationships is everything, and so he had a really good relationship with somebody with the Lions, and so I had some film. I had some camp stuff, and
So you would say you have to, if you was trying to go to the pro or going to go to the pro, you need film and a media package, or how does that work?
absolutely, you need film. The film is the most important thing because you can get a shot without an agent, without having relationships, because the film talks more than anything,
Right.
you know, but having the relationships and the agent, it matters as well. But I had an agent who had a connection. They got me in for a camp. And this was like a rookie mini camp deal, so it wasn't no guarantee or nothing like that. But if you come in, you perform, you show yourself, then you got a shot to play. And for me, my dad's from Detroit. This is his hometown, so I'm going to my dad's hometown. It's about to be lit. And
So you had to go to Detroit.
Yeah, I flew in. I got there.
What's your mindset on the plane flying in?
It's like, I'm finna run it up. Like, I'm about to make this thing happen. Like,
Do they talk about like any salary or anything?
No, none of that was the conversation. It was more so me going in just to get this shot and just prove myself. And all that would kind of be taken care of on the back end. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, all I need is a shot. Like, that's what most people think anyway. If somebody just give me a shot, put me in position, then I'm gonna do the other part of it. Right. And so I get to the facility. We do like a physical, watch a little film. I go to sleep. The next
What's included on that physical for all the people that's listening?
Yeah, physical was just height, weight,
normal
basic stuff, drug tests, basic stuff, right? Nothing too in depth. But the next morning was when we finna have like practice and stuff. So I'm thinking night before, like, I'm finna go out here and like Deion Sanders.
In your mind, are you thinking like, I'm gonna make $1 million, I'm gonna make $2 million, I'm gonna make $300,000? What you thinking?
In my mind, I'm thinking like something like $500,000 because I would presume it would be like a rookie mini or a rookie like contract.
And what position is it?
Cornerback.
Okay.
So I'm earning like $500,000 a year, which was cool for me, man. I'm from the hood, growing up Twin Side. I'm like, what? I ain't never had a job, nothing. So for me, like anything was great. I'm 6 figures for doing something I've been doing my whole life. So it wasn't even about the money for it. It was more so about the opportunity that I was really excited about. And so the first day, I'm literally in the locker room, bro, getting ready to go out and
what music you listening to at this time?
I wasn't even listening to nothing. I was literally, I'm just in my zone, bro. Like, we're literally about to have my first NFL practice, bro. Yeah. And I'm sitting in my locker, and this dude come tap me on my shoulder like Hard Knocks. Y'all seen Hard Knocks, so you know. They come tap you on your shoulder, you like, I'm like, yo, I ain't even put on my helmet yet. You feel what I'm saying? And so he's like, you gotta go see the GM. So I go up there, man, and I end up getting cut. And so I asked him, I'm like, yo, what's going on? He was like, man, we just wanna go another direction. And so what's funny is, they cut me, they put me on a flight back home, and this is when I'm having these thoughts, right, about entrepreneurship, what I'm gonna do. And so 2 days later, I get a call from the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens about to bring me up for camp, another rookie camp deal. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do it. I got another shot.
Yeah.
Like,
so what's your mindset the second time?
I'm like, this gotta be it. Like, okay, the Ravens called me up. Like, I'm finna go in here and like prove myself.
And then let's take a step back. Like with the Ravens, how did you get that connection?
My agent. My agent. So having the agent, relationships, all that stuff, it plays a part. And so he knew somebody that was with the Ravens. I'm like, cool. And so, the Ravens called me. I'll never forget his name. His name was Ozzie Newsome. He called me, offered me a tryout to come to the mini camp. He was like, we don't got a lot of corners, so if you go ahead and prove yourself, you may earn a spot on the roster, because we didn't get no corners in the draft. We short at corner as it is.
So this seemed like this is perfect for you.
This might be the opportunity. Baltimore Ravens, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis is like history. I'm like, let's go in here and give it a shot. And so they called me on a Thursday. They called me back on the Saturday, and my flight was on the Sunday. I'm like, this dude should not be calling me again. Like, they already sent flight itinerary. Man, I got everything. I don't need no more phone calls.
Is your anxiety pumping or it's not pumping?
No, it's pumping. It's going crazy. Because why is your name on my phone again, bro? And so I answer it, and he was like, yo, good to hear from you, blah, blah, blah. We wanted to bring you up, but we're just not going to be able to bring you up for camp. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
I'm like, I need to know something, because the Lions cut me before the first practice. Y'all cut me before I even get on a flight. So I gotta know something. And so essentially, man, what happened was I had an incident that happened in college where I was falsely accused of sexual assault.
Wow.
Changed everything about my life, because that was a big part of the reason why I didn't play at another major school after I left Tennessee. And it's the #1 reason why I never gotten a shot in the NFL, because the Lions had a female owner. So when they
You got
found
wind of that, it was a wrap.
So going to the NFL, they do kind of check your
they
record,
did
check
background
everything.
check. And so what happened was I kind of slipped through the cracks of like the background part of it because of the relationship and how quick it had happened.
Gotcha.
And so when the Lions brought me in and they started going over all the people that's coming in for camp, they started doing like the little background check or whatever. And so they saw that, oh wow, this kid was accused of sexual assault. We can't bring him in. We got a female owner. She's not going for this. So that's why they cut me. And then the Ravens cut me because
So it was never a conviction or anything?
No,
just...
I never.
Allegation.
It was an allegation. I never got charged or nothing. It was crazy. It changed my whole life. And so the Ravens, 2 years prior, y'all remember what happened with Ray Rice with the girl in the elevator? How you girl in the elevator? That was like a year or two prior to this.
So it was already a lot of politics.
It was already spicy with the Ravens. So they was like, yeah, we can't bring you up. So after that, I called my agent and I'm like, bro, my agent was like, you should look into Canada. I'm like, well, how much they make in Canada? He was like, after taxes, you'll make about $50,000.
$50,000 a year?
Yeah.
So I would go over that.
I know you like entrepreneurship. Here I come.
Bro,
Entrepreneurship. Here I come.
That was legit. I'll never forget. I told him on the phone, I said, bro, I can go make $50,000 a month doing something in entrepreneurship because I'm seeing people out here do it. So I'm finna just try it out. So I'll let you know how I go. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I literally hung up my cleats that day, bro. Like that day, I made a decision that I'm gonna get into entrepreneurship, but I didn't know what it was gonna be though. I had no idea. And like maybe 3 or 4 days later, my mom was like, yo, you should call your cousin. My cousin had a credit repair company, turned out to be a credit repair in form of an MLM network marketing deal. And I got started. I started making like $3-4 grand a month, fresh off of an L.
Yeah, sheer disappointment.
I'm like, dang, this could be
it.
So
what's your mindset when you hit the 3 or 4 grand a month? Do you say, I want more, or do you say, I'm cool with it?
No, hell no. It was like, yo, if I can do this, like, bro, the sky's the limit because I was only
never had a job anyway.
I had never had a job and I was only doing this for like 3 months.
Wow.
And I'm already at 3 or 4 grand a month. I'm making more than my parents already. You feel what I'm saying?
Big.
So I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And man, that turned into me building MLMs for 5 years and doing really well, earning like right under $1 million over the course of that 5 years. So it was a really good process.
Got to the $1 million point after the 5 years, pretty much. So you seeing it like, okay, I'm on my way to be a millionaire, just based off of what you're seeing. You built the 5,000 people across the globe. So you like, okay, well, what's next? Like,
yeah, man. So it's funny. I played football in college for 5 years. So when I got inside of network marketing, I was like, God, just give me 5 years to do this. I'm gonna turn it up. But when I got to year 5, I'm like, dang, I can do another 5. Like, I felt really good about doing another 5 because this is what I've come to like love and enjoy, like empowering people, showing people the power of belief and things of this sort. And also that style of business was just lucrative. It was a very lucrative business model. But when the 5 years came, God was like, no, it's clipped. It's time for you to do something else because I gave
what was the clip?
He gave me what I asked for. I asked for 5 years.
Okay.
He gave me the 5.
Yeah.
And it was time for me to go out there and build the things that had my name on it. You feel what I'm saying? Network marketing, even though it's my business model inside of another business, I didn't own it. And so when things happened that I didn't like, I didn't have no say-so to change it because I didn't put no money into this. You feel what I'm saying? And so God literally kind of sat me down. I had to go through this transitional period, which was pretty much all of 2022 of learning how to build something that's mine, the nuances that it takes that are required, skill sets that weren't learned necessarily in network marketing that had to be learned and refined inside of having my own business. Things dealing with like marketing, advertising, fulfillment, all of these things that are needed to know in business that I didn't necessarily have to know because of the lane of business that I was in. Because in traditional business, e-commerce and things of that sort, what's required is money. You know what I mean? You need money, things of that to make things happen. But in network marketing, I ain't need no money. I just needed people. And I could find people on Instagram, Facebook, you know, things of that. So it's a completely different business model. And so in 2022 of last year, it was a whole transitional period of me like learning how to do different phases of business.
What business did you start?
Yeah, so I jumped into building my own brand the Holy brand. And so the Holy brand encompasses of a couple of different facets. The first thing that we embarked on was starting my own wellness company with a focus on cannabis. And so that's Holy Wellness Company. We launched that in May of 2022. And I was just telling Izzy, like, it takes a certain type of person to launch a business, but it takes a whole nother type of person to build a business. Yeah. Because you have to.
That's a bar for real.
You gotta be able to, anybody can launch it, because to launch it, it only takes excitement. But to build it, it takes commitment.
So when you launching this brand, you taking your money from the network marketing, how did you get started? Like, what did you get the seed capital to start this business?
So it didn't require a lot of upfront capital to really get it going. And it could have had more upfront capital and all that stuff, but I didn't have that much upfront capital to put into it.
Right, so you got resourceful.
I had to get really resourceful.
So what would be your advice for somebody that don't have any like capital to get started?
To be resourceful, because it's you may not have the necessary capital that's required, but what you do got to have is the vision. Because when somebody has the vision, capital, resources, all of that follows a person with vision.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's like a magnet. You feel what I'm saying? When you put something out into the universe and your mind is focused on that, this is the only thing your mind thinks about, your mind is going to bring about all the necessary resources and people. It's going to reveal to you, you're going to start to see like who is already there that can help you in your pursuit, or what is already there.
That's factor in there.
Yeah. Exactly, man. And so when I was transitioning from MLM, man, I mean, we were doing really well. Like, at 50 grand months. My wife was making 25 grand a month. Like, we was doing really,
So you
really
actually
well.
work with your wife?
Yeah, man, we work.
Tell us a little bit about that. I know a lot of people can't do that. So
yeah, man.
Tell me the how do you do it, actually?
What's the secret sauce on how to work with your spouse?
I think the biggest thing for us was we were just super compatible. We're super compatible. And so because we're super compatible, it allows us to work. And then we're also locked in on the same vision. And the reason why we're locked in on the same vision is because what I've been really good at as a husband and as a leader in general is being able to take what's on the canvas of my imagination and put it on the canvas of somebody else's. And I think that as a husband, as a leader of a household, that's a quality that we all have to be able to bring to the table, because if our wives or our children, if they can't necessarily see what we see, the way in which we see it, when times get hard, they won't be able to like have that peace that we have, because we haven't put what we see onto their canvas of their imagination.
So give us an example of how to do that. Like, if for our listeners, our viewers,
for us, we want to know.
For sure. And so I think the first thing, it takes us being super clear about what we want. We have to be super clear about what we want to the point that we can effectively communicate this message to somebody in a point where they can understand it. Like, essentially, when we were over there talking about what I'm building out with Holy, I was able to communicate that with you to the point where you could even see what I was building. Yeah. But as a husband, and we're talking to our spouses, we can get so locked into, or we can be so, we could be dealing with life so much that we allow life to impede onto what we see here. And because a lot of people, like most marriages, they end because of finances.
True.
50% of marriages, they end because of finances, right? And I believe a big part of that is because the husband may not necessarily have the vision for more finances, right? And they can have the thought, the idea, but the vision has to be here to the point where they can conceptualize it and then materialize it. And the more that we talk about it, the more that we can then conceptualize and materialize. And so in terms of being a husband dealing with our wives, so me, for an example, me and my wife, like I just told you, we transitioned from doing MLM to now building our own stuff. We are, and a big part of the reason why we left the particular company that we was in is because there were things happening that we couldn't change.
So y'all 50-50 partners in your business?
Not necessarily, because, well, and currently, now we are, but in the last thing, she had her own particular business that was bringing in $30,000 a month.
Shout out your wife.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
like, my wife was doing really well. And then I had another business in the same company that was bringing in $50,000, $60,000 a month.
Okay,
Like, we were
so
doing
y'all bringing
really
in almost
close to
100K.
we were doing good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in that, it was so many other things that were happening in terms of the company that we couldn't have no control over. So we started watching our income like fluctuate. And I'm not talking about you doing 50 and that joint dropped to 30 one month. I'm talking about we go from 50 and that joint dropped to 5.
Okay, so tell the people,
Like,
how does that happen in business? Because we hear that a lot, but they want to give us the visual of that.
It's a lot of different variables based on the business model. And so in network marketing, you're dealing with people. Right. And y'all already know people are
fickle.
It's hard to deal with people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing. But then you have merchant issues and processing issues, things that in terms of a company that you don't own, you don't see this stuff. You don't control this stuff.
Go into the merchant problems, because I hear, like, I know with our companies, we have had chargebacks before.
Right.
So go into like a merchant problem. What is that?
Yeah, so a merchant problem is when you got a lot of people charging back, and when you have a certain amount of chargebacks, you lose your merchant account. You feel what I'm saying?
And you've seen that happen before, right?
Seen it. Bro, imagine losing a merchant, but you got thousands of people that are paying auto ship and the merchant is clipped. And you gotta figure all this stuff out. But again, when you don't own stuff, you don't have no control of it. And so you just deal with the effects of that. And there were other things that happened that I don't really want to talk about on camera in terms of the company, but we took a L, you feel what I'm saying? We took a big L, and we had to like literally put on our bootstraps and start from scratch, bro.
So what's the talk in your household when that business just tanked? What's
vision, the future. That's the only thing, because that's what I'm saying. Most people, when things happen in life, not even just in marriage or anything like that, but just in life, period, they allow what's happening in front of them to affect what's happening here and here. And so for me, once things start getting weird, I'm already thinking about, okay, what's my pivot?
And what's the solution,
what's
right?
the thing, you feel what I'm saying? And so that's why I remember when we ran into each other at the gas station that time, I was literally starting a Turo business.
Facts.
You remember that?
I remember.
Because
he was like, I got an idea, I'm about to do this. And I'm like,
exactly,
hey,
because
I see you.
This is when I'm realizing like, yo, I gotta make a pivot and transition, because this strategy of how I was making money is not working in the new season that God is taking me into.
Love it.
So old strategies don't work in new seasons.
So you would say pivot quick. If something fail, pivot the next day.
Pivot quick, man. And it's all about having a level of discernment, because sometimes a pivot is not necessarily required for everybody. Sometimes you got to stay in it, and it takes more faith to stay in something than it does to actually leave and go start something else. And so that's where having the discernment and having a level of spirituality can help people in making their decisions, so they don't make just rash emotional decisions. All of my decisions that I made came from the level of faith that I have in terms of what I'm doing, and I know that I'm being led by God. You feel what I'm saying? And so when it was time for us to transition and pivot and start making moves, I started looking into what ways can I just keep income coming into the house, because we were making a lot of money, but we also had a lot of expenses. And that's big. That's
very big.
Because somebody could be listening saying, well, you said you didn't have the money to like really build your business when you're starting, but you said you was making 50 grand a month. So what happened?
Where's the money going?
Where's the money going? But the trap of entrepreneurship is called, number one, it's the if come trap. If this happens, I'm gonna do this. And people already plan on what they're gonna do with their money when they have this if come, spending. That's the first trap. But the second trap is like increasing your expenses as your income increases.
And that's easy to do.
And it's very easy to do. And it's so subtle, you don't even realize
you're doing it.
Because I'm eating steak 3 times.
Right. You feel me? So let me give you where I dropped the ball at, right? This is where I really messed up financially. And I'm telling you because I know that somebody's about to do it or they're planning on doing it. They're already looking at the condo they want.
Right.
They're already looking at the next crib they want.
So you saying that's a kind of a misconception of people saying like, oh, you need to go look at the $1 million crib and all that?
It's nothing wrong with looking at it. You should, because that's where you get exposed to more. It's important to go look at it. But it's always a time and place to do it.
Right.
So, and you have to be at a certain place financially. So I was doing really well. I had been making 6 figures since like 2018 at this point when we decided to make this move. So it's 2020, it's the pandemic year. I'm making more money than I ever made before. I'm like, man, you know what? I don't want to live on the 20th floor no more.
You want the penthouse.
I want the penthouse.
I gotta see the whole thing. I want to see everything.
I need to see this side of Atlanta, this side of Atlanta. I need the wraparound balcony. I need the my
How much
balcony
the rent was?
$7,500 a month.
Okay.
My balcony was bigger than people's apartments.
Yeah.
This is real life, bro. I had somebody came to my crib and was like, bro, your balcony is legit bigger than my whole apartment. Like, my balcony was huge, bro. I had the second most expensive penthouse in my community, in my apartment building.
This is downtown Atlanta, in Midtown.
This is Midtown, like.
Yeah, this is the big boy.
The big boy, yeah.
I'm
The
doing
big
joint.
Yeah, not the little
You
one.
feel me? Not the little joint,
Not the little one.
right? I swear. But that was a very bad financial decision. Reason why is because I had bread put up, but I was basing my living conditions off of income that wasn't solidified.
So it wasn't passive. It was like you had to still do some earning.
I still had to do something.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm making 50. The rent is 7.
Yeah, that's light.
What?
Yeah.
But what you don't factor into it is what happens if this joint drops.
Right.
And then you got a lifestyle.
And it's still due.
$7,500 in rent. That's a bigger lifestyle.
So-
Car payments.
So
you got,
now watch this, because I'm finna help somebody. My wife was bringing in 25 grand a month. I'm bringing in like 50, 60 grand a month. We like, cool, we can pay this. Never one time did we think,
Just
what
paid up.
happens if this goes like all the way down? Like if the business just tanks.
Yeah.
Because we were so thinking like, man, if anything happens, okay, I'm making 50.
Yeah, we should be straight.
I'll drop to maybe 15, you drop to 5, we still got 20 coming in. Like,
we'll come back up there next
Yeah.
month.
we'll come back up, month, 2 later, we
Yeah.
be straight. But no, what happens if
It
bottoms out?
Then you go to zero.
You feel what I'm saying?
So what do you do when you go to zero?
And so I'm about to walk you through it. So check me out. I moved into this crib is August of 2020, right? I'm having my best months of income from June, July, August, September. Like, bro, that's like 200 right there.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Essentially. And so, bro, the income dropped from $50,000 to $5,000 a month over the course of 4 months.
That's 20,000 in 4 months. You making that
Crazy.
in 1 month before.
Quadruple. That's
Bro, you
crazy.
feel what I'm saying? My wife dropped from 25 to like 2.
Oh my gosh.
So y'all
now
y'all not even
we're,
making
we're making the
to
rent.
7,000.
We're
Yes.
we're literally making enough to just pay rents, bro.
Crazy.
You feel
So
what I'm
would you
saying?
tell people to save some of the money, or what would be your
Invest
solution?
it.
So
What?
both of those are correct answers, but the trap is to keep your living expenses below 20% of your income all the time, no matter what. And when you start making money, don't increase it. That was my problem. Like, bro, I was already paying 35 a month. And if I would have just stayed there, when stuff hit the fan and we
still
was
had
only down to
7,
7,
yeah.
we're still ahead.
35.
We
got
still
35.
up.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm
yeah.
saying? But when it drops all the way down to a total of 7 coming in, now you're going into the savings to live. And so now everything that was
What about
saved
credit
up-
cards? Do you have any credit cards?
I didn't have none at the time.
Okay.
At the time, it was just
That was
like what I
probably
had
good
saved.
that you didn't have
Yeah.
it. Because it probably would have got crazy.
Would have got
Like,
real wicked. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm about to get to that though. I'm about to give you the whole game,
Yeah.
right? Because I want my journey and story to be able to help somebody else so they can avoid the pitfalls
And
that
that's
I
why we
went through.
created this.
You feel what I'm saying? And so this happens late 2020, like so September, October 2020, the income starts dropping from 50, it drops down to like 25, drops down to like 10. Then
And
it
it's
down
a
to 5.
pandemic.
And it's a
Man.
pandemic.
Bro, it's getting real wicked.
Right.
And I'm paying $7 grand a month in just rent. We're not talking about my son's daycare, utilities, car notes, none of that stuff, bro.
Then the lifestyle. You eating good. You
had a chef, like, bro, I'm like, God, my quality of living is up here.
But you say, I'm
But
rich for real.
My income is down here. You feel what I'm saying? And so we literally was living off the savings for like a whole year, bro. And so for 2021, the whole year of 2021, we was basically living off savings because we didn't have a lot of income coming in. So at the end of 2021, when I'm getting these ideas to start my business, wholly and all this stuff, I don't have the financial
capital to do it,
resource that
yeah.
I had at one point. So
Right.
now I'm literally having to build it Not from scratch, but from like scratch.
Pressure
like,
make diamonds. That pressure
you
made
feel
you a
what I'm
diamond,
saying?
though.
So I tell people all the time, vision always comes in the valley. In your lowest moments, like you gotta keep success and failure together. Many people try to like separate success and failure, but your biggest successes comes from your greatest failures.
Love it.
And your biggest failures come from your greatest successes.
True.
Like I was on the penthouse top floor.
Exactly.
Then I had to go down to the basement, literally, bro. Like,
So when did you move out to the penthouse?
I ended up moving out that summer, so the summer of 2021. So now watch this. So to even move out, like I had to drop to break my lease, and I had to pay to move into my new spot where I live at now. The deposit, all this, bro. It was like 15 bands just to do all of that, just to move,
Shit is
bro.
expensive. You ain't talking about furnishing. You ain't talking about,
Bruh.
Then you still got kids.
They need stuff every day.
Bruh.
How many kids you got?
I got 3 kids.
So you got 3 kids living with you.
2, one of them in Hawaii, but yeah,
okay.
bro. So it's like, it was a lot going on. And so I said all that to say, the biggest trap that people will be faced with in entrepreneurship is to start making more money and increase their living expenses. That's what you never do, like, until you get to a point where you know for sure it's solid and it's coming in from multiple places. I had one source of income. That was the first red flag, was coming from one place. But then what happens if that one source of income runs dry?
So you would always tell people to have like multiple streams of income.
Multiple streams of income, man. They can vary in the amount. They don't have to always be oceans.
Yeah.
But you do need one ocean that can create streams.
There you go.
You feel me? But at the time when I had an ocean, I wasn't thinking about streams because
the ocean was so big.
The ocean was so big. I'm like,
I'm good, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and so when it was time to pivot and transition and to do what God called me in terms of building my own stuff, my own brand stuff that had my name on it, I had to literally be resourceful and use and leverage what was currently in my hand at that moment. Whatever little money I had, whatever connections, resources, whatever ideas I had, I just had to go and just put them into effect, put them into work, because I knew that it would work out. That's the thing, like you can't keep a real winner down, bro. Like everybody gonna take L's in business, a part of the game, but
A loss ain't a loss, it's just a lesson.
And so it's all about how you frame it. See, everybody's gonna have a picture put in front of them, a picture that happens in life. The picture could be good or bad, but how somebody feels, and you know they say a picture worth 1,000 words. How somebody feel when the picture put in front of them is gonna determine the 1,000 words they choose to get a picture. And so because I never let my emotions get wrapped up in what I was going through, I always had positive words about my picture. I could always see the beauty in the picture. You feel what I'm saying? I could always see that. I knew that where I wasn't who I was. I knew I was in an effed up position, but I knew that that wasn't me. That was just temporary. Yeah. And I had to have the vision for myself to be able to, again, paint that. I had to have something so clear that I could put this on my wife's mind. Because my wife, obviously, women are different.
So how did she deal with this?
That's what I'm right. Women are different. So it's like, and then she was also pregnant. We just had our son 6 months ago. She's pregnant.
And Mills was at a hot,
Bro.
everything intense. I know you was probably sweating.
Man, we're going through our worst time financially. We just went from making all of this bread to now we're going through a valley moment. She's pregnant. You feel what I'm saying? It's a tough time in the Jones household, but because I had something so clear, every day I'm like, hey, yo, check me out. I got it. Yo, check me out.
So you staying positive.
Bro, like, I ain't even trying to sound cocky or arrogant or nothing, but I didn't really have no stressful moments. I didn't lose no sleep. I wasn't stressed.
So you have a strong mindset. What do you think built that strong mindset?
Man, just my commitment to growth and personal development and spiritual development. Most people, they drop the ball in that area. They want to have success in business, but they don't have no success in their personal mind. You feel what I'm saying? The mind is what attracts the millions and the success and all of that stuff, but mastering the mind is mundane though. You feel what I'm saying?
Every single day.
The repetitiveness of reading a book, the repetitiveness of listening to an audio, the repetitiveness of listening and watching podcasts, that stuff is very mundane. But if you master the mundane, you'll make millions.
Millions, maybe even billions.
There you go.
You feel what I'm saying? But most people don't want to do that. And so because I spent so many years of mastering the mundane, growing here, that when hard times hit, I was mentally, spiritually prepared to go through it, mentally and spiritually prepared enough to help my wife and carry my wife get through a tough time. You feel what I'm saying? And so I feel that because many people don't take that time to craft out that part of their life, when tough times hit, they don't have the mental fortitude to get through it, and their intro becomes their outro.
There we go.
Once they start, they end it because they got hit, this picture got put in front of them, and they didn't have the proper spirit to be able to frame the picture the right way. It takes a powerful person, a special person, bro, to think accurately regardless of what's in front of them. Because most people look at their situation like, dang, bills due, this is due, this going on in my life, like, whatever, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's not the way that you get through, man. You gotta like be able to look at this and then reframe it in your mind to see what you want to see in spite of that. The book Science of Getting Rich calls thinking laborious. It says thinking is the most laborious work that most people will never do. It takes hard work to think, bro.
So you would say you read a lot.
Read a lot, study a lot, and it's not that I read a lot and study a lot because I like to do it. I kind of like to do it, but it's not really why I like to do it. I like to do it because I know what losing feels like. I know what being ignorant feels like. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll rather put the time in to like grow and learn, so I'm never in a position where I lose at something because I just don't know. And I used to believe that ignorance was like the most expensive thing, like knowing something and not doing, or not knowing something, that's expensive. But what I've learned is that knowing something and not doing it is just as costly.
Right.
Like having the knowledge of something, but not doing it, not following through with it, that's just as expensive as not knowing it at all.
So you didn't know about these shoes we about to intro real quick. You didn't know about these lemon pepper holy steppers we about to, you know what I'm saying? And then we got the Mambas, we got the Black Mamba joints. Okay. I'm making up these names, but that's pretty much what they are to me. But yeah, we just doing a quick unboxing. So
tell us a little bit about the design, cause they.
Yeah, man. So the design was actually inspired by a D-Rose and Kanye West shoe that never came out. Literally just changed the silhouette a little bit and added our own vibe to it, and that's what you got.
They look comfortable.
They are. They're
super comfortable. I got 2 pairs. This is my 3rd pair. I got the Yeezys on right now, but.
Kanye, hit my boy up. He got you. He looking for that deal.
Oh yeah, these are fire. These are fire. I mean, they feel good. They look good. They have different little swag compared to the Yeezys that I have on. I done ran these into the ground.
Do they run like true to size, or how do they run?
True to size for the most part. People wear half size. I suggest that they size up and go to another size because we don't have half sizes. But for the most part, they're true to size.
Yeah. Depends on if you want to wear socks or no socks. Either way, you can dress them up, dress them down. I done worn mine with dress shirts. I done worn mine with shorts. I said it's over with for my back.
But yeah, I can't wait to get me a pair.
So with this, like, okay, so everything that you told us, you pretty much gave us the how you got to this point. Now that you're here, what is something that you're just trying to tell people that's like, okay, I made this pivot in my life, I made this pivot in my business. Now I'm embarking on something completely new with a branded concept. Like, what's the mentality behind that?
I think the mentality behind that is the same mentality that one would have when they're doing anything they believe can change their life. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, I think that in everybody's life, there's gonna be a couple instances where you got like a life-changing opportunity. It could be somebody getting exposed to a different cryptocurrency. It could be somebody getting exposed to a different business model. It could be anything. But when you find out the thing that's about to change your life, you go all in with it. You don't play around. You don't half-ass it. You take it very seriously. And so when the idea for the brand, just not even just the shoe, just the brand came, I'm like, yo,
gotta go all in.
This is it. Because holy means to be set apart. That's what the definition of holy means. It means to be set apart by God for purpose. And so I knew that was me and my life just in general. I always knew I was different. I always knew I was unique. I always knew I was set apart and I didn't fit in with every single crowd that I went into. And I knew that most people felt the same exact way that I felt. Like, dang, I feel different too. I feel like I don't, like they not me, I ain't them. Like, so I knew that I had something in terms of the brand. The next thing was I wanted to build a brand that I could build a lifestyle brand where people could buy multiple things from this umbrella of things, kind of like Apple. Y'all notice how Apple customers like us are so loyal to the brand? Like, we ain't even
fight Androids.
Bro, we make Androids like, man.
Google Pay.
Bro, for real, like,
We use Apple Pay.
like for real, like we're loyal to the brand, bro. Like,
That's funny.
we love the brand, how it makes us feel. Like when we having that Apple logo on our laptops, our iPads, our phone, it just does something to us, bro. And so the thing was, and when you become an Apple user, you don't just buy the phone.
That's facts.
You buy everything.
You need the AirPods, you need the MacBook, the iPad, the watch, you need the whole
And then you
drop.
need the Apple Pay.
You need, and then when the new phone come out, you're going to get that one too. You feel what I'm
The
saying?
old one gonna start moving
The
slow.
old one gonna start moving slow, and they doing that on purpose,
They know
right?
what they doing, bro.
And
I'm
so-
gonna ask you. I got a quick question just to interject. Do you ever get any comparisons on these, like the Yeezys?
What you mean?
Like they kind of look similar.
Oh yeah. Yeezys, Crocs. So another thing in business is all about recognizing trends as well.
True.
And so the trend that I recognized was that these clog shoes are becoming like
Popular.
a thing.
This
Like
is
the
all my son
comfortable,
want to wear to school.
bro. I'm telling you, like the clogs, the comfortable shoes, it became a thing during the pandemic because the pandemic shifted everything. And that took Crocs to like a multi-billion-dollar company. And so I'm recognizing that, and then that was the same year that Yeezy dropped the foam runners. All happened at the same time. And so I started recognizing the trend. I'm like, dang, I gotta jump on this trend of like this style of just different type of shoe before it dies out. If it dies out, I wanted to go ahead and jump in front of it. And so, but going back to the brand, I was like, dang, how Apple did this in terms of building a loyal customer base where people come back and buy different products under this umbrella of Apple. That's what I want to build with Holy, but I wanted to have different pieces of lifestyle that I touch. So because I'm somebody that's into the wellness piece, heavy working out, things of that sort, I'm like, cool, I gotta have the wellness side of it. So right now the focus has been cannabis, but we'll be introducing protein shakes and detox teas and weight loss supplements, all that stuff under the wellness piece of Holy. And then we have the apparel piece, which is, design piece of sweatsuit that I like.
So just a one-on-one, like.
Yeah, this is a piece that I have. It was supposed to drop this fall, but I ended up pushing stuff back, and I'm doing some stuff this spring. But yeah, this is one of the hoodies or whatever. But this is just a generic hoodie. But I have some stuff that I actually designed from scratch. I meant to show you earlier. That's gonna be fire. That's gonna drop this spring. And so, but that's the apparel piece of Holy, and then we have the water company, Holy Water, that will be dropping this summer.
Holy water,
I love it.
And it's just recognizing things that's happening in the marketplace. So that idea was born from me recognizing what this company called Liquid Death was doing. Y'all seen Liquid Death, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, if they doing, I think they're valued at like 300 million right now. In 2 years. I'm like, damn, they're doing 300 million with something called Liquid Death, and they got people drinking something called Liquid Death. What more can I do with Holy Water? So, you know what I mean? I'm like, so I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be sometime this summer that we'll be doing that. But I'm thinking, how can I build a database of customers where I can sell and introduce different products that they already use for their lifestyle every single day?
How many customers would you say Holy has now?
We got a customer base of 4,000 people.
That's what's up.
So 4,000 people.
So you
far
kind
in
of
the database.
did you transfer any of the customers like from the network?
It's all organic.
Okay, that's dope.
From the traffic that we've been able to generate, and all those aren't paid customers that bought shoes. A lot of them people are just interested in what's going on, that put their email into the email system and all that, which is the most important thing, because when you got data, you can sell anything. You know what I mean? And that was the focus, man. How can I just keep getting the data? And so even when I was doing the cannabis stuff, it was hard for me to really collect data because I was getting my account shut down, like we was talking about earlier. And so because cannabis and things that store people report,
raising red flags.
Even though it's legal, like what I was having is 100% legal in all 50 states. But I was getting clipped and I'm like, damn, I can't really scale this. So I'm like, now it's time to introduce the other pieces to it so I can start getting the data, so I can start introducing things on the back end. So that's the idea of Holy, man. I'm looking forward to the continuously building of it, introducing new products and different colorways of the kicks. The kicks are doing really, really well. We sell out every drop. I don't keep inventory long at all. Like as soon as it comes in, it's going right back out to people that are,
And what's your biggest form of advertisement?
Ads. So I'm heavy into Facebook ads. So that was the thing. So in 2022, like I was saying, I was going through this process of being in this valley mode of having to learn different things. And one thing that I took time to learn is ads and email marketing. So right now, all of my customer base is generated from ads, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads, but 56% of my income is from email. I get like a 62% open rate on all my emails.
Well, so, you writing them yourself or you have a marketer's own copy?
I write pretty much all of my copy, but I also utilize artificial intelligence, ChatGPT.
Okay, ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
So I utilize ChatGPT to do some of my stuff, but all of my like spiritual stuff that you know about, like I do all that. But in terms of like some like inventory emails or product emails or copy for my website, ChatGPT does all that. No. So but yeah, so that's kind of how the brand came about. That's what it means. That's what it stands for. Set apart by God for purpose.
And if you could tell yourself something that when you started this in the beginning, what would that be? A lesson or a life lesson that when you started in Holy, what would you say?
If what we have today was created from nothing, imagine what we can create with what we have today. Because
another bar. My boy dropping bars.
Yeah, because think about it. Think about it like this. Think about everything that you've accomplished in business, right? From what you started with. You started with nothing. It was just you and your idea of exclusive, your idea for real estate, bulletproof trucks and all that. Like it was just an idea. And then this idea grows into what you have today. Right. But it started with just an idea. Right. And so now when somebody has to start over from a transitional standpoint, if you just look at what you already did and look at what you built from nothing, imagine what you could do with what you already know now. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the thought process that I think everybody should have when starting anything or transitioning to do something new. Is like, if you did all that over there, like, cause my thing was, okay, this is the epiphany that I really had to make me start my own thing. I was generating on a monthly basis for the company that I was building over $700,000 in volume.
Every month?
A month.
Sheesh.
It would like, in 2020, bro, I think I probably generated like 4 or 5 million in revenue.
And they paying you a percentage of that.
They're paying me a percentage of it. And
it's great. I can do that for another company.
I can do this for myself.
Bro, I had a customer base of over 4,000 people that were paying a monthly subscription of over $200 every month.
Wow. So a product that wasn't yours.
And it wasn't my product.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, if I can do that for somebody else stuff, I know I can do it for me. Yeah. But I'm gonna make so much more money because I got way better margins. I got way more, like it's mine now. Yeah. I control the price. Yeah. I'm the owner, you feel what I'm saying? And so that was like the epiphany, like the aha moment, like, dang, wait a minute. You was generating $600,000-$700,000 a month in your prime for this company. You was only getting 50, 60,000 of that. That means the company was getting another 400, 500,000 of what would not have come in if it wasn't for you.
Now let's be clear, that's not, everybody shouldn't take that approach that you are, correct? Because you need people that are still in the trenches working.
Right,
still
facts,
doing that. So I think it's important to understand, like, are you willing to take on the task of being a full-time leader all the time, taking on all the stress, the pressure, the responsibilities? Or do you want to be able to say, you know what, I'm cool with making that 50.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's cool
and
too.
I got a question for you. Do you have any employees?
No, right now it's just all me.
Okay.
And then your wife.
And me and my wife.
So you're an owner-operator.
And my son. And my son who 3
years old,
packing the boxes.
Yeah, that's a tax right out there. They do $12 a year.
There you go.
Yep.
Now that's what's up.
And so one thing I've learned though, from everything that I've learned entrepreneurship, one thing that I've learned more than anything was low expense, low overhead. That's the biggest piece to advancing and scaling business.
Do you plan to like get employees and like a marketing team? What's your plan on that?
At some point, but I'm in no rush at all. Because the reason why is because yeah, you can delegate and leverage and do all that, and you can free more of your time and stuff like that. But I love the trenches, bro. I love the work. So for me, packing orders and all that, because I do drops like maybe 1 or 2 times a month. So I'm really only packaging orders for 1 or 2 days a month. But I'm doing 5 figures. You feel like every drop. You feel what I'm saying? Like in the day, we doing 5 figures. You feel me? So I'm like, if I can make this in a day, pack up orders. Yeah, when it's time to scale and add more people, I'll do it. But man, I'm so adamant right now at this point in my life of keeping my expenses and overhead so low because 5 years I had overhead, bro.
You saw it. That's where I'm at now. I'm like,
bro, even bro, watch this, bro. So even down to like the Turo stuff, like I start doing Turo in the midst of like business and stuff like fall, and I'm like literally trying to like figure out how do I keep this income coming in, and so I go get 5 whips.
I know a couple of people that did that.
Trouble.
You don't,
he said trouble. Red flag.
Trouble.
And you don't like Turo business model at all, right?
It's a cool business model, but the thing is, you gotta be willing to put that time in,
keep
bro.
Keep the cars booked.
But the biggest piece to it, you gotta have your own marketing play. You gotta have your own way of marketing this stuff. And so when I start the Turo stuff, I get 5 cars. Like I had. I'm not talking about Toyota Camrys, Porsches, Beamers, and you feel what I'm saying?
I know how. You go for
$3,000, $5,000 car.
So listen to this, bro. I leave my penthouse paying $7,000 a month with all the expenses, just $7,000 a month on just the crib. Just the crib is $7,000 plus, not the bills and
no utilities, no nothing.
None of that, right? So I break the note, had to pay like 15, 16 bands to get up out of there.
Sheesh.
A month later, I'm like, oh, I'm finna start, so I gotta keep the income coming in. So that same month, I go get 5 whips. Here's my thought process. My thought process is cool. It's 4 weekends in a month.
Yeah.
These are foreign cars.
Yeah. People gonna
every weekend, these cars should be booked. So I'm thinking, cool, this is what I should make if every car booked for every weekend. What I never one time considered is what happens if none of these cars ever go out. We don't think about that.
We never think about that. That's the real of business.
That's the real of business, bro.
Real business talk.
Bro, I never one time thought what happens if none of the cars go out in a month. That never crossed my mind one time. And so I get all the cars. I think I got 5 cars total to my name on my personal credit.
Ooh. Who mentored you through this, bro? Was it just like it was God? It had to be, maybe.
No, all the Turo gurus on Instagram, bro. all the courses on YouTube.
Do you believe in that? Tell the people. Do you believe in people that?
So it can work. It's not that it didn't work. Yeah. The thing is, like, I didn't think it through the whole way because it's
they making it sound so good.
They make it sound. Go get 5 cars and put them on Turo. And I'm thinking, and so I'm under a tad bit of pressure, and I'm also under a tad bit of like self pressure in terms of I'm so used to earning high income, bro. I ain't earned less than 100,000 since 2018. Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like. And
I gotta get this money.
Really, I ain't never made 100,000. I always made way more than 100,000 since 2018. So it's like when I'm in this transition of like now my income from the company is like $5,000. I'm like, oh, I gotta figure something out. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna get 5 whips because every car should bring me at least 1,000.
At least 1,000, yeah.
I'm back at 10 grand.
Right.
But what happens?
Seems like simple mathematics.
It seems
you
like
forgot about the negative part though. Like, oh, what if it goes negative 5,000?
So let me tell you, bro. So December comes around. So October, when I get all the cars, I noticed that I didn't get close to breaking even on the cars. I was in the hole.
Started out in the hole.
I started out in the hole.
Sheesh.
November comes, I'm in the hole again.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, damn, I'm paying for these cars out of my own pocket, own savings.
So you just back and then you got a pregnant wife, so it's just.
You feel what I'm saying? And I also had, so at this point, my credit was so good. Like I had really good, to get 5 cars, you gotta have good credit.
Right.
So I had really good credit. So because I had good credit, I'm applying for different credit cards because I'm recognizing that, oh wow, my family, we're going through the struggle bus.
At least I can live off the credit cards.
I can live off the credit cards. My savings is getting a little tight.
So would you tell the people the story about living off your credit card?
Yeah, so it's terrible. You shouldn't do it. I don't recommend it at all because again, if I get these credit cards, High Limit's doing good credit cards, right? I'm thinking like, I'm gonna be able to pay these credit cards off from the income or the income I'm gonna make from the Turbo cards. And I'm gonna pay for the notes off the credit cards to cover, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm thinking, cool, I'm gonna just recycle the money.
You can't pay a note with a credit card at all either.
Well, you can, you just gotta know.
Transfer.
You know what I mean? You gotta make it happen, you feel what I'm saying? I understand, you feel what I'm saying? So that's my thought process, right? Yeah. And so, bro, stuff start hitting the fans and these cars are not getting booked, right? They're not getting booked. So now I'm like,
it's a lot of, real quick, it's a lot harder to rent out luxury stuff than people think it is.
It is, bro. Yeah. Because number one, in Atlanta, is so many other options of cars, number one. But then number two, most people, they're cool with a little Toyota Camry.
That's fact.
They don't tripping off the Porsche truck.
Exactly.
It's a certain type of person that's gonna get the Porsche truck or the Beamer that's wrapped, you know, all that. It's a certain type of person. And I'm not thinking of that. I'm just thinking, it's 8 days in a weekend. I mean, it's eight weekends. Yeah, right? Somebody gonna come get the whips.
So you would say not to approach business logically?
You can approach it logically, but you still gotta, I think it's all about having like, you gotta look at the good and the bad. I think most people only look at the good part. We don't take into consideration the worst that could happen.
The bad can get real bad real fast.
Like, real bad. So, bro, I had all these cars to my name, had credit cards that I'm paying, like, so in 2022, bro, stuff was really hitting the fan because I had so much
Then we started
debt.
going into that recession.
You feel what I'm saying? So I got all these car notes, I got credit cards that I'm paying on, and I'm like, yo, something gotta go. Yeah. And so all these cars started going back. I still got my Porsche, but what I realized is that, man, with the real play behind renting cars, I'll just say this, is not Turo, it's leasing your cars out to people. That's the real play. And if I would've been doing that the whole time, I would still have the cars today. But trying to rent them out, one-offs and stuff like that, it's hard. It's hard, and there's so much time involved. There's so much time involved. And so I ended up leasing cars out, and that was the better option. And so,
so you still have the cars leased out?
Well, I have one car that's leased out. The other ones, they gone. It's wrapped.
Okay.
Because it's like, it came to the point where it's like, do I want to pay for these cars or pay for my life? You feel what I'm saying?
Another bar. And that's the thing, people don't want to sacrifice the luxuries or like the
watch this, here's why. The reason why they don't is because they have so much pride. And the pride,
ego.
And ego. And the thing is, and here's the thing, when people get this thought through their head, they're gonna be so free. Let me look in the camera.
Talk that talk, George.
Talk good talk.
People don't care about you as much as you would like to think that they do. We'll be, bro, we would think that, dang, bro, I got all these, what people gonna think if I turn the cars back in?
Can't be scared to lose.
What people gonna think if I move out the penthouse and I move into a regular crib? Like, what people gonna be thinking?
Who cares?
They don't even care. They don't even care. And so,
what people think?
Them thoughts that right there, I never had them. I'm like, oh, gotta go.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
like, it's
never care about
it's a simple decision for real. Yeah, it's a simple choice.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Any question that you ask yourself that starts with they is a question that you will never be able to properly answer. What will they think? What will they do? What happens if they do this? Like,
you gotta have like, fuck what they think.
Exactly. You can't,
fuck what they say.
It don't matter.
You can't control it.
Yeah.
And if you can't control it, why trip on it?
Yeah,
you
why
know what I'm
give
saying?
the energy? Yep.
The only thing we can control is our attitude and our activity, how we think about it and what we do about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, I can't control that. So I'm not even gonna let that bother me. So, bro, the cars went back, all that kind of stuff. And
you feel better now. Fuck that
peace,
shit,
bro.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
I never cared anyway.
Yeah.
I only got the cars for the money.
There
like,
you go.
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
what? And if I ain't making money with them,
What's the point of
having this debt?
And I got one more final question for you before we wrap up. What do you see yourself in like 10 years? Because business is a long-term play.
Yeah, man. So in 10 years, that's super long term. But in 10 years from now, I'll be 40. I'll be 40 10 years from now. So, wow. My son will be, I have a son that's 23 10 years from now. So when you think about 10, like, wow. But from a business standpoint, I think what I would like to see is Holy will be global for sure. Holy will be global. But what I'm more excited about being global inside of Holy than like the brand, like the shoes and the smokes and all that stuff, is the nonprofit. So the nonprofit that I'm building is gonna be huge. So one component of the nonprofit we was just talking about is doing stuff with high schools in terms of like Shark Tank and investing into high school students, helping them start their businesses and things that start at scale. That's gonna be dope. The second component of that is bailouts. So I'm super in tune to like legal stuff. Like one of my focuses in college was criminal justice. And so the legal system is something that I wanna play a part in like helping people with. So bailouts. So I have a nonprofit that will be doing bailouts for people that are incarcerated for petty charges and like non-violent charges, but they can't pay their bail and they're sitting inside of a prison system.
That's crazy.
Because they can't pay $500 and nobody can pay it for their bail, and they're sitting there for years waiting.
Over $500.
Over $500. And so my nonprofit will be like focusing on those two things. So I don't have like a set standpoint because I really haven't thought 10 years out yet. But what I see though is my nonprofit being global, like, and impacting people all across the world in terms of like high school students, different countries, and bailout programs and all type of stuff. So that's really what I'm focused on. Just my overall purpose, man, and impacting people. So my goal, my life purpose is impacting a million people around the world for Christ. So anything in that, that's what it's about for me. So that's through stuff like this, podcasts, books, my brands, nonprofits, social platforms, anywhere where I can impact people and the kingdom can be advanced in one way or another. That's what it's about for me.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in to Real Business Talk TV. We had Cool Jones.
Yes, sir.
And y'all tune in again.
See, we
Get you some
holy pepper lemon
holy. Let's go.
Too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets that taught me,